Something that we undoubtedly see for every coaster is the color. We walk up to a ride and either see this stunning combination of colors or an utter disgrace to humankind. Whichever it is so subjective. So in today's video, I have a great idea. Instead of doing the best coaster color palettes, we just state the best coaster for each color. We will do all the colors of the rainbow except indigo and violet. They will just become pink and purple, and we will add on white, brown, and black. So going in the wonderful order of Roy G. Biv, red starts us off. Red coasters probably have the most stacked lineup in the world, besides black. It's a very appealing color and catches the eyes of many. And when I think of red coasters, a few come to mind. Number 1 has to be X2 and Dinoconda. I'm going to put them together because they are the same model. Dinoconda is better, so it would win if I actually liked the 4-dimensional coaster. Yeah, that's the problem. I hate X2 so much. This coaster finds ways to psychologically and physically torture me, and only truly insane people enjoy this, like Flash Race. Another coaster that fits in this category is I-305, and this one is more tolerable for me, but still not my mojo. So this leaves me with 2 other truly elite red coasters, those being Fly at Phantasialand and Steel Vengeance at Cedar Point. Now if you told me I could ride any of these 2 coasters right now, I would 100% pick Fly. Boy, if you don't get— I'm more anticipated to ride Fly, and I think it would be a solid contender for my number 1. Airtime, theming, smooth, flying coaster, dark ride. It's exactly my mojo, literally the perfect coaster designed for a person like me. But I still think that Steel Vengeance has the best shot. This coaster has had the most airtime in the world, so it makes sense why so many people love this. I mean, it's like top 10 on everyone's list and has won the best coaster in the world year after year again. So yes, the best red coaster is Steel Vengeance, and for those of you thinking Steel Vengeance is more maroon, it's a shade of red, it counts. And one more thought, Zadro could be a contender, but I want to see it to believe it. Next up is orange. Now this is a lot more limited in terms of every perspective. It's hard to even think of an orange coaster to name. The first one that comes to mind is Talon, and that's definitely not going to win. I don't think that even falls into the elite category. So is there even an orange coaster that is elite? Well, I think there is. There's 2 solid contenders for this. One of them is Tatsu. This flying coaster is amazing. Graceful, smooth turns followed by an element that literally rips your head off, then more graceful, smooth turns. It's like the perfect flying coaster, though it's not. When I did a tier list of Magic Mountain, I did not even put Tatsu in the elite category, and many of you expressed your disagreement in the comment section, which makes sense, but Tatsu is not elite. The pretzel loop is mid, and it's not because I can't handle it, I perfectly can, it's just simply not the best.
They're dumb as a mule and twice as ugly.
I think Flying Dinosaur and that one other flying coaster in China would fall into the elite category. Tatsu is just an A++. So what is the elite orange tier coaster? It's Expedition G-Force. I feel like Expedition G-Force is what would have happened if you built the I-305 the correct way. Very intense, not scareaway GP intense, and filled with airtime. You have all your bone-crushing positive G moments and your straight ejector airtime, all while filing around at insane speeds and heights. This coaster literally hits 4.5 Gs, so it ties at I-305, but it doesn't sustain the Gs, so it's actually rewritable and good. So sucks to suck, Cedar Fair, you got the bad end of Intamin. Expedition G-Force is the best orange coaster. Next up is yellow. This is arguably worse than orange in terms of options. I mean, no one really likes the color yellow, which is probably why not many coasters are yellow. Maybe it has something to do with it fading fast though. The first yellow coaster that comes to mind would be Nitro at Great Adventure, and this is totally my jam. Smooth, floater-filled B&M Hyper. I think I would like this coaster infinitely more than the coaster that is about to win. But let's talk about other yellow coasters that definitely aren't going to win. Hair Raiser and the Flight of the Himalayan. Yeah, I'll say the full title later. Hair Raiser is a very good B&M floorless coaster in China. Every element hits and it does good things with its layout, but a B&M floorless coaster doesn't really have a chance to be elite, so the other option is Flight of the Himalayan Eagle Music Roller Coaster. This has to be one of the worst coaster names in existence. You know, this one might be better than Nitro. It's another yellow B&M Hyper, so it's my jam again, and hear this, it has onboard audio, so it's totally my thing. It also has a splashdown, which is cool I guess, and a 450-degree helix. But still, you can do better than this, so that's right, you probably know it. Skyrush wins the best yellow coaster. This ejector machine is another coaster that resembles I-305 if it was built right. Bone-crushing positive Gs, hammering ejector airtime, everyone should like it, right? Well, no, the restraints are so god-awfully bad that this becomes a very polarizing coaster. I'm kinda scared to rank this high, but like, it's really only the good contender, that's why it's up here. So yeah, Skyrush, you may be hot garbage or elite, I don't really know, it changes from person to person, but lucky for you, you have no competition, so you are the best yellow coaster. Next up is green. I feel like in this color you have a lot of borderline elite coasters. Helix and Phonics are both valid coasters and on the verge of being the best, but they just fall short. They're not big enough, intense enough, they just don't stand out compared to the others. I would put Phantom's Revenge up on this list, but it just got painted to purple, so we'll mention it when we come back around to them. The two that are really battling for the best green coaster is Carnan and Conda. Now I'm very conflicted once again. I think I will like Carnan more for the theming and experience, but Conda is guaranteed to be better. Once again, I think Conda is what i305 could have looked like if it was actually good. Do I need to explain it again this time? Modern Intamin is proving themselves to be one of the best manufacturers ever, and Conda is just the perfect example of their capabilities. It's a very good coaster. Do I need to say more? And the best part is, this coaster is green, so it wins the green category. Blue is probably one of the most popular colors for a coaster, besides like red, so there's a huge amount of options. For some reason, the first coaster that came to mind for me was Phoenix, that one B&M Wing coaster, but it doesn't win over the rest of the competition. The other three that came to mind were Orion, the B&M Giga, Leviathan, the B&M Giga, and Fury, the B&M Giga. Well, we'll talk about those later, I'm sure one of them will win, right? The other huge name for me was Hakuge. We like RMC, it's just a fact. I haven't found one person that hates RMC, and Hakuge is some of their best work. So theoretically, it's very good. But once again, it's just an RMC. You could probably have an RMC win at every one of these colors because they are all good and amazing, so at the same time, it's not amazing.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Okay, that was very confusing. Just know that I think Hakuge falls short to one of the B&M Gigas, and that one is of course, Fury 325. This is what i305 could have looked like.
What? What the f?
No, it's not. This is made by B&M, not made by Intamin. Fury 325 is the coaster of everyone's dreams. It's universally loved by all for good reason. It's literally those smooth, floater-filled B&M hypers on crack. The ejector, speed, positive Gs, all of that is there, so it's the best of the best. Fury is the best blue coaster, and you can't tell me otherwise. Finishing off the colors of the rainbow is indigo and violet, but in this case we'll just change it to purple, and since there's not a lot of purple coasters, we'll add in pink. Though I can't think of a single pink coaster, so it's purple and pink. And funny enough, the first coaster that comes to mind is Tidal Twister, probably because I was riding it the other day. I know it's open, isn't that crazy? But that's an absolute piece of garbage and would win this category if we did the worst coaster for each color. Remember how I said that Phantom's Revenge got repainted to purple? So it's in this category now. I'm about to piss off a bunch of you, but I hate aerodynamics and I have ridden some of their best coasters. And although this is a 100% different experience, everything in my entire head is pointing to no. I feel like I'm going to hate Phantom's Revenge, so it's not going to win this category. Another SeaWorld coaster that purple is Mako, and this one is actually good. Mako is known for that 5-second floater airtime mill, still don't know if that's a myth or not, and said to be the best B&M hyper, but we all know Shambhala is. I actually have no idea what the best B&M hyper is, but there's still a coaster that comes way above this, and that is DC Rifle's Hypercoaster. This hypercoaster is like the crown jewel of Mach. It's their Mona Lisa, made in the prime of Mach and arguably their best work. Though that one coaster opening in China looks incredibly good as well. Too bad they're too far away and I'm stuck here with Manta. Anyways, this coaster is exactly what you envision. A fast-paced hypercoaster with that holes through its layout and delivers. Strong sustained positive G, strong ejector airtime moments. You notice a trend for the good coasters now? DC Legend's Hypercoaster delivers, and that's why it's the best purple coaster in the entire world. Also, it runs its last row backwards, and that would be one of the out-of-the-world experience, wouldn't it? So we are down to the last three colors, white, black, and brown. Starting off with white, this is one of the more lesser known categories. There's a lot of white coasters, but none of them are incredibly elite. And there's three that I narrowed my list down to. Those three are Oblivion the Black Hole, Nemesis, and Shambhala. Once again, these aren't the best, but one of them has to take the crown. I don't think dive coasters are that good, and even with my editor telling me Oblivion the Black Hole is actually amazing, I just refuse to believe it. The only thing that looks cool about the coaster is the theming where everything is getting sucked into the hole. So yeah, that's not gonna win it for me. So it's between Shambhala and Nemesis. We have a B&M Hyper and a B&M Invert. Shambhala is not just going to hold its ground here. Nemesis has out-of-the-world theming and an amazing layout and provides good forces. It's everything you can possibly ask for. That's why Nemesis is the best white coaster. Next up is black. Now I said red and blue had good coasters. Black has the best collection of coasters compared to any other color. Velocicoaster, Energylandia, Terran, Hyperion, LiToCoaster, Time Traveler are the first ones that come to mind. And for me, one of these is a clear winner, but let's start with the process of elimination. I've already stated my hot take on the 40 model, so Energylandia is getting booted out of here. The problem here is Velocicoaster and Terran have some of the best theming out there, so basic throw rides like Hyperion, LiToCoaster, and Time Traveler can't compete. I mean, Time Traveler is incredibly unique, but still, the theming puts the other two at the top. So what do we take? Both are Intamin blitzes. I would say VelociCoaster is a little more intense and Terran is a lot more laid back. I personally like the theming on Terran better, but it doesn't make up for the loss of thrill. VelociCoaster has an amazing layout and amazing theming, so it wins for the best black coaster. Last but not least is brown. There are so many coasters that can go out here. I mean, all wooden coasters are pretty much brown, but we'll talk about some of the steel ones. The options are Wildfire, the B&M floorless one, which is hella mid, and Untamed, which is said to be an upper tier RMC. But you can't forget one huge wildcard, Ride to Happiness. I always thought this coaster was black, but I realized when you get closer it's a maroonish brown, so it definitely falls in this category and can be a huge player. But let's look at the wood coasters. I mean, you have ElToro and Phoenix. I'm just going to put those two out there because they are well-known elite, but I still don't think these compare to some of RMC's creations. For one, we have the other Wildfire, the one at Colmartin. I think it will beat Phoenix, but be pretty closely matched with ElToro. There's another topper track that is probably better than ElToro, which is Lightning Rod. This launch wooden coaster is incredibly unique, and now that it's got reliability somewhat better, it's a major contender. So it comes down to L-Rod versus Ride to Happiness. This can really go either way depending on your preferences. For now, I'm going to say Ride to Happiness because of the unique spinning element, but I can't wait for the future to prove me wrong.
This may be my new favorite roller coaster.
Favorite ride I've ever experienced is Tomorrowland's Ride to Happiness at Plopsaland de Pan in Belgium.
Let me know if you guys agree in the comment section below and what you would put for each color. That's all for today's video, guys. As always, make sure to like and subscribe. Have a great rest of your day. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.